Okay, Grant, we're going to go ahead and part this piece off, and we got to cut that shiny bit off the end there. And so what we're going to use is this parting tool. And so the parting tool is like a knife. It's going to cut right through this piece, right in this way. And so it's going to kind of go through just like this until it gets to this hole, and the piece is going to fall off. So one of the things we need to make sure of is that the part is perpendicular to the work. So we're going to slide the tool holder onto the tool post, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll it over, and we're going to make sure that it's flush against this machine face. So we're going to bring it straight over, and we're going to make sure it's nice and snug. And once we get it all nice and snug, we'll tighten it down, and then we'll start the parting off. Okay, we're just going to make a couple more checks. We've got the tool all perpendicular, and we got to make sure we have enough of the tool extending out so that it will cut all the way through. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll the cross feed all the way over until we can see that the parting tool will poke right into that hole. And the other thing we want to do is to make sure that this parting tool is right on the tangent of this body of revolution. And so if you can look right down the side, we'll see that we have the tool right on the side. So now that we've got that ready, we need to make sure we get it as far over as we can, because we want to leave as much material as possible. So we want to get it right up on that shoulder, and then we'll get started when we get right back. Okay, now we're ready to part off. We've made sure our parting off tool is perpendicular to the work, and we made sure our parting off tool hits it right on the side. And we made sure that there's room for the tool holder when we push the tool into the part. Another trick is once the part gets cut off, it's going to fall off. So what I've got here is a piece of aluminum that's in the tailstock, and we're just going to push this forward so that the tailstock can hold it up when it falls off, so it doesn't go flying off into the place. So now that we've done all those checks, we want to lock our carriage lock right here. Keeps it from moving. Everything to be very rigid. And then we're going to come down and we're going to engage the motor pulley just like we did last time. Do one last check, make sure there's nothing lying on the lathe or anything like that. And we're going to hand feed this. So we're going to add a little bit of lubrication. All right, and then we're going to turn it on. Okay, and then we're going to slowly advance the cross feed. All right, let me take a second. Make sure that everything looks good. Add a little bit more lubrication. We advance the cross feed. And we're going to keep doing this until the part comes off. Okay, we've almost got it cut all the way through. We're going to add a last little bit of cutting fluid. We're going to cut the lathe on here, and hopefully it comes off cleanly. There we go, popped right off, nice clean cut. All right, there's the piece of the remaining billet there. You can see where it cut off, and here's the remaining part. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this out, and we're going to put this with its machine face flush up against these jaws. Maybe the little spacer out there to get it out in front of these jaws here, and then we're going to start facing this off until it gets to the full length, which is 1.22 inches long. All right, we've got our piece that we parted off sitting there in the jaws now. I had to extend it out off the face of the jaw so that I could cut. I put a little bluing on it so I could scribe a mark. This piece here is 1.22 inches long, and so we're going to come in and we're going to face this off until we get down to that line. And in order to keep things parallel, when I spaced it off, I used a couple of pieces of tool steel, and it's close, but it's not quite there. And we can tell because we've got this dial indicator set up right here. And you can watch the run out. So it's sitting at 0 right now. So as I rotate it around, you're going to see that needle change. And we go all the way around and we can see that we've got about 7 thousandths of run out. And so that means that I'm going to need to tap it with a dead blow hammer to try to get it in round so we can make it as perfect as possible. So we'll check back after that. Alright, now I've tweaked it with the dead blow, and we can take a look at we spin this chuck around, and you can see that now we've only got about 1/1000th of run out, or 100th of run out, which is about what we want, or 1/1000th actually, which is about as perfect as we can get. Alright, so now I've already got the cutting tool on there, and so we're going to come in and we're going to face this off down until it gets to that silver line in the middle of the blue. Alright, well, we got it cut down. We've just got a little bit left, and I'm going to use the power feed to do the final cut just because that's going to be the finished face and I want it to look nice. So we've got it all set up. We've got our power feed lever activated all the way down. We've got our selector on the cross feed. We've got a carriage locked. So all we need to do now is turn on the lathe, engage the power feed clutch, and watch it cut. Okay, now that we've got the part cut down in length, what we need to do is tackle this dust cover groove, which is right here. And the dust cover groove is 1/8 inch in from the end, and it's 0.1560 wide, and it's 0.099 deep. Now, because it's a dust cover, it's probably not super critical that we get the tolerances just like that. So we're going to use the good old part off tool again to make that square plunge cut. And what you see right here is I've added some more bluing, and I've scribed 2 lines. Both lines are the edges of where that dust cover groove needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my part off tool in, and I'm going to set the part off tool to be right on the edge of one of those lines, and then I'm going to plunge cut about 1/10 of an inch. And then I'm going to pull it back out, and then we're going to move over to the other line, and we're going to plunge cut 1/10 of an inch. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up. Alright, we've got everything lined up here, and what I've done is I've brought the tool in just to touch off the work, so I know we're at 0. And so when I come down here to these dials, I see that I've set it at 0. And so now all I need to do is turn this dial until it reads 0.099. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, and then we're going to move it over and finish up the last little bit there. Alright, we're all done. We've got both of them cut. And back it out. And turn off the lathe. Alright, that's what we're going to do for this part. On the part 3, we're going to go ahead and bore this hole out to the size that it needs to be to fit the oil seal.